Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Today I'm joined by Marc, who is an agent currently working across Europe and is based in Spain. I got to connect with him about 3 years ago when I was playing in Austria. We've been in touch ever since, and he's currently helping me out with some opportunities. And I thought it'd be great to bring him on because I've been getting a lot of questions about agents, what they do, how you can get one, and a lot of questions around that. So we're going to be doing a short interview, and Marc is going to be answering some of those questions. Marc, thank you for joining. How's it going?
Thank you very much, Sohel. Thanks for the invitation. Everything is fine, even if the situation is not the best for the football right now, but we try to do our job.
Yeah, we got to stay optimistic. I think this past year has been challenging, but slowly we're making the progress. So this summer transfer window, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity. And I know you're getting more busy with the work you do. So exactly. Exciting times ahead.
Yeah. Regarding you, just we already contacted a club from the Canadian Premier League, and we're waiting for them to give us the okay for you to come for the trial. But right now they are not training, so we cannot do much. If not, we always have possibilities in Europe for summer. Okay.
Yeah, it's good to hear. That's the plan I was talking about too in the video I made at the beginning of the year. Hopefully going after the CPL opportunity. We're working on it. If it doesn't happen, we're going to go after something else in the summer. But Marc is going to keep me updated with that, and then we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. So let's get into some of these questions because I've been getting a lot of these questions, and I think a great place to start is, what is an agent and what is the work you do?
Well, the agent is basically the job is connecting the dots from players to the clubs. That's basically. We also work as intermediaries that not so many people and not so many players know that we work a lot as intermediaries. That means we connect with other agents. Maybe they have a player we don't have or we cannot find, and that's another way to work. That we are right now focusing a lot on this because it's much easier for us to work with professional players this way than getting directly to them, since they have probably bigger agencies behind. But yeah, that's basically what we're focusing now.
How is your situation going as an agent? What are you excited about right now for this year? What are some of the countries you've been working in? Share with us a bit more about your situation.
Well, right now we had a very good transfer window last summer. This winter was not that good because of the COVID situation, as everyone knows. But yeah, we're excited for summer because we think that things are going to get better, and clubs that they know play professional, they can start playing, and it's now that the clubs are looking for players again. So yeah, we hope that change, and hopefully we have another successful transfer window.
Yeah, hopefully. So the summer seems to be more active than the winter. There's more opportunities, right?
Yeah. There is also more time to the transfers, but yeah, summer is always different because it's not in the middle of the season. It's when it starts again, and when the clubs change a lot. The trainer, they change the sporting director, they change 10 players from the team, so it's much easier in summer, let's say.
Yeah, and for any players wondering when those transfers usually happen, can you give us an idea of when the summer transfer window is and then when the winter transfer window is?
Mm-hmm. Normally it starts here in Europe, starts in June, and it ends by August, October. I don't have the exact date right now, but at the end of August, I think. But yeah, there's plenty of time. Some clubs, they're looking at the beginning. They are already looking for players like crazy, and some clubs they cannot find anything. Until the last day, the last hour, they are signing players. As you know, some famous stories about Real Madrid that they sign the player in the last moment, then the fax doesn't come, and then they cannot sign the player. So imagine if Real Madrid does these mistakes, some other clubs does it as well. So yeah.
So for a free agent, they can sign anytime during the year.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's a free player, normally it's this period when the transfer window is happening,
Yeah.
because the clubs, they have to program some ways to do the transfer, some moments during the year. They cannot do it all year. But it's true that free players, they can, depending on the law in each country, but normally in Europe and here in Spain, they can sign anytime.
Good to know. And then this is a question I've been getting a lot is how do you get an agent? I know there's many different ways to go around it, but if you can give some information on how somebody can get an agent if they don't currently have one, what would that be?
Yeah, that's a very difficult question. That all depends. First of all, what level you are playing, because if you're playing the top divisions, you already have one, or if not, is someone from your family, because you don't need one. If you're an amateur player, a way to get it is, of course, in every country there are different agents that go take a look at the games. That's a way you can get it. You don't have necessarily to go there and ask for an agent. But yeah, since we know that a lot of people is trying to get an agent, contacting them, etc., that's also a way. But they have to prove somehow that they have good material, they have good talent, because for an agent to start working with them, if they don't know them personally, is something, it's a little bit of a risk.
Yeah, one thing I always say is it's hard to approach an agent if you don't know, if you don't have a connection already. So one of the best ways to do it is if you have some players who already have an agent, that can be a good connection because in this football world, if you know somebody, they can put a good
Exactly.
word in for you, and then that
Yeah.
helps the connection instead of just approaching them without knowing them at all.
Exactly. We signed some players just because one player we already signed was playing in the same team, or we saw them because we went to the match to watch the match and we liked him. So I mean, it's all, as you said, it's all about knowing people and connections, and it's for us it's like this as well.
And in terms of how to connect using, let's say, social platforms or doing something online, what would you recommend? What's the best way to get in touch with you? Would it be email? Would it be social media? Would it be LinkedIn? What would you prefer out of those platforms?
Well, as you can imagine, I get messages from everywhere, but the best way to contact, let's say, for me, it's through LinkedIn, because I for me it's more personal, and
Yeah.
I through there I contact not only with players, I contact with people I'm interested also to connect. So that's a way that I look more there. I look more in, also through email. If you send me a very nice email with your CV and everything attached, and good, that you write it well, that's also a very good way. But through social media, it's complicated because, for example, in our company page, it says a lot of messages go to private. I cannot see them. I see them after a while. So yeah, the best way will be LinkedIn, or if you have my number, of course, or an email.
Sounds good. Another big question I got was how does it work in terms of payment with an agent? So a lot of players are wondering how much you need to pay an agent. How does that work? Is it upfront? Is it once you get signed and you have a contract? Are there different ways to go about it? It would be great if you could
Yeah.
give some info on that.
Yeah, that's a very extensive thing to talk about, because every agent works different. Normally, we separate it in amateur and professional football. If it's a professional footballer, then if I get a club for them, first of all, I get paid from the club, because the professional clubs, they pay us to send a player there. If there is a transfer fee, then we get a percentage that we agree with the club from the transfer fee. And if it's a free player, normally, as I said, the club pays you. And normally, if it's professional, we take what the law says, 10% from the gross salary from the player. Regarding the amateur players, that's where it gets complicated, because I mean, if I send a player to sixth division, obviously I'm not getting any money, not from the club, not from the not from the player, because the player is probably not going to get much to pay me, and I don't have one that he can eat at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. We have to see it. That's why it's so complicated that an amateur player gets a good agent, because they have to see it very clearly. I have to see very clearly that if I put a player there, at the end, in 2, 3, 4 years, I'm going to get compensated.
Makes sense. So typically with higher level, if you're looking at the professional world, they would sign a contract and then maybe you take 5, 10, 15%, depending on how it works. But then if you get into the semi-pro amateur, it just depends on the situation.
Exactly. No, normally the professional is always 10%.
10%?
Normally it should be like this. I know some agents don't do it even more, which is not legal, but the minimum is always 10%. And with amateur players, of course, if a player is not getting enough to live, we're not going to take anything. But even players that are in semi-professional, we don't take anything from them. So yeah, that's the idea. That's why we are actually working in different projects with academies and making the players to get to come here for a period of time. We have different programs, and that helps them, that they have the opportunity, and we get compensated somehow to help them. So that's something we're working right now on it.
And then what should a player have when they try and contact you? Because I know it's hard to evaluate a player if they don't have something, if you don't have a video or a CV to see. So what are the main things that they should have ready before they contact you?
Yeah, well, first of all, now that we're talking, maybe it's a way to say that I'm not going to answer any message that says, "Hello, I want to get professional," because not me, and not anyone is going to answer that. If you are an agent, because first of all, I want to get professional. Of course, everyone wants to get professional. If you don't have, it's better if you send me a video, if you have a CV, or that I can see at least your face, I can see where you played. It doesn't matter if you played in the 10th division. That's not the problem. But I want to see where you played, which country you're from. I want to see these kind of things. Or if you don't have it, you can send it a message and write me where you played, what is the situation right now, what do you want. That will be the best way.
So ideally, highlight video and CV, and then just market yourself as proper as possible. Let them know where you played, the experience you have. The more they know, then they can help you make a connection or something like this.
Exactly. It's very important also not to lie when you write to an agent, because it's not a problem if you play in the 7th division, as I said, in 10th division, or if you played in your college. It's okay. You're contacting me, I will try to help you, but don't lie to me. Don't tell me that you played here when you didn't play, or you just went for a trial, because I got some messages from players saying that I have been playing there for 2 years, and at the end of the day, he had the trial there for a week. So, I mean, these kind of things cannot happen.
Yeah. So on that topic, how important, I think this is an important topic to touch on. How important is it to have trust between the connection of a player and an agent? Because I know it goes both ways. Sometimes the players, they're not sure which agents are the real ones, they're trustworthy, authentic, which ones are, sometimes you can get scammed. But then also for the agents, it's important to be able to trust the players. So how important is that? And then how do you develop that trust?
Yeah, thank God we have internet right now, and we can say a lot of information there from both sides, from the player, from the agent. In my case, if I see a player that sent me a message that he said he played for Inter Milan U19, then I will check there. I will check the websites. I will check his name, and if he's not there, of course, he's lying to me. And they have to do the same with us. I mean, unfortunately, there are a lot of scammers. There are agents that they ask for 1,000 euros up front just to send the profile to a club or something like this. That's very bad. So that's why I will stay the players to take a look on internet, take a look at which company they work with, if they have their own company. It doesn't matter that much if the agent work with Cristiano Ronaldo or not. I mean, that's not interesting. What's interesting is if if you can find an internet, you can find a website, you can find him on LinkedIn, for example, or you can find people from his company, something like this.
Yeah, building that trust is very important. And that's one thing I like about you. You're a good person, and then you also have that trust. You'll be honest with players. If you think you can get them something, you will tell them. If you don't think you can get them something, you will tell them. And I think that's very important to have.
Exactly, that's important. That's important, very important, because obviously the players, everyone wants to get there. Everyone wants to get professional. Everyone wants to live from this, make a life from that. But if I cannot help them, I will tell them. It's not a problem. If I'm looking, or I'm very busy now working with a lot of things in the next months, I don't have time to find a club for you in the 7th division. I will tell you. This I think that's the best way to do it. Always knowing that you can contact me anytime in the future, of course. But that will be the best way. Yeah.
So one thing that's cool about you is you really want to come and make a positive impact in the world of football and the world of being an agent. And part of that is hopefully being able to help more players advance in their career. How can anybody watching this connect with you and see if it could be a good opportunity to work with you? What are the best ways to get in touch with you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, the best ways to contact me is through my telephone number, of course, through WhatsApp. Also through LinkedIn is another option. But yeah, right now I'm working in a couple of projects that may be interesting for a lot of players, especially amateur players from countries outside Europe. We're having a big showcase in July here in Spain with professional clubs. We also have, like I said before, programs in happening in Madrid for players that they want some trials here. And yeah, I mean that's a way where I can help them right now. We're putting a lot of effort in these projects because we think that's a way for us to know players, young talents, and players that we cannot reach out because I cannot go to Canada and watch a game there, an amateur game. It's not worth it for me. So that's a way we can know more talents, young talents.
That's good to hear. Well, I'll post your information and your links in the description. If anyone wants, feel free to reach out to Marc. Very good agent, trustworthy, and we'll be honest with you. We'll let you know if there's something that can happen or if he thinks it's the time is not there. So Marc, thank you for coming on. I think this was great. I want to keep it on the shorter side, but I think we got some good answers that I've been asked a lot. So thank you again for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. And if you invite me again, I will be happy to join again.